it's really hard to have to be on stage after all of that great stuff. I mean, you could leave right now and feel like you had enough information and motivation to last you until the next event. Hopefully I can add a little bit to that. But you know, you aren't quite getting the applause cues. I just wanted to mention, just kind of gear you up a little bit and give you a reflection of what you applaud most for, okay? So I've been listening, and do you know what got the most applause so far? Cargill sponsoring dessert. I just, you know, I'm wondering about that. It struck me as odd because I don't think 104,000 women that WomenVenture helped had gotten as much applause, and I'm sure you made a mistake. 104,000 women. Now that's, okay, now, okay. I just couldn't help it. I understand. I mean, I also was looking to see how many people ate dessert first. They would be a part of my group. So anyway, it truly is an honor to hear the stories. I've been asked to share my story. All of the stories are so compelling. And I really am honored to be able to share some things about myself and my background with you today. So when I think about my life and Great Clips intersected and created a certain path. So I'm going to share with you information about Great Clips, myself, and then a little bit about how they intersected. So first of all, Great Clips' vision is working together to build the most profitable salons by delivering the most powerful and enduring brand. And much like a book, the beginning and the end of that is most powerful. If you work together and you focus on building a powerful and enduring brand, the profits will come. We're an organization driven by a set of values, not words, but action statements that we believe in so strongly. We evaluate people, we pay attention to these. We share stories about these values all the time, and they're in a specific order for a reason. Our values are, we are kind, we listen and earn trust, we keep it simple, we focus on execution, we exceed expectations, and we make it fun. And they're in that order for a very specific reason. That's how I believe that we've been able to create success. Success is often identified in the numbers. So I will share some of the numbers about Great Clips with you. We will hit about $1.5 billion in revenue this year. That's 110 million haircuts. In about 4,430 salons, owned by 1,200 franchisees, delivered by 40,000 stylists. It's a big business. But the franchisees are much like your businesses. They're small businesses, and they do exceed expectations. We have just concluded 14 consecutive years of same salon sales growth and 13 consecutive years of same salon customer growth. We often focus on customers because we believe pricing and other things may distort the actual customers that are coming to Great Clips and staying in our business. So we have created a culture where that success is celebrated, and that's what really makes Great Clips fun. So that's a little bit about Great Clips. Now a little bit about my family. You can tell, if you look closely, why I joined a hair care salon. It's me and my twin sister with those horrendously short bangs, probably completed by my mother's kitchen shears. It left a scar on me for life and led me to somehow do something to save ourselves from bad haircuts. So I'm one of 6. There are 5 girls and 1 boy. My mother's Alice, my father's Marion, and the kids are Roxanne, Raymond, Rebecca, Rhonda, Rhoda, Regina. I'm one of 2 twins. Rhonda's 6 minutes older than me. She never hesitates to remind me. Ray is actually my brother, who I'm in business with, who got me into business, who supported me, who's helped me succeed in so many ways. So that's a pretty nice family picture. It's the kind that you might see in Facebook. You know, they didn't have Facebook then. You just occasionally handed them out or put them on your wall. But these pictures appear on Facebook all the time, and people go, oh, what a beautiful family. They're so nicely dressed, and all of them aren't smiling. But, you know, it gives you an impression. And I think Facebook has created the image of this perfect family. You know what? My family wasn't perfect. My family, kind of a problem. You know, probably like most of you. So my father was a chronic abusive alcoholic. I remember a time when my sister Roxanne put me and my twin sister Rhonda in front of the basement door, set my mom downstairs and put me and Rhonda in front of the door so my dad wouldn't hit her. And I remember my mom developing incredible problems with depression and taking my senior prom date to the locked psych ward at St. Mary's because she was on suicide watch. Now, why do I share that? Because my guess is many of you have families that aren't perfect, and somehow you may think that you're unique, and you aren't. 96% of families are dysfunctional, and the other 4% are lying. So just, that's a fact. So, and I know it's true. So I did graduate from high school, started looking towards college. This is my high school graduation picture. I was pretty driven. I took those college entrance exams, and they give you all the information, and my math aptitude was off the charts. My father was an engineer. I thought, I probably got that from him. So what direction did I go? This was almost 50 years ago. It didn't really make a shit bit of difference if you were good in math. If you were a woman, you went into social work or teaching. I mean, honestly, think about it. My math aptitude was off the chart. No one once talked to me about that math aptitude. They talked about social work, psychology, teaching, home ec. So I went to college. I graduated with a double major in social work and psychology. I thought I could be a good counselor. I started my master's program. The college professor said, this isn't going to work. You seem to want to tell people what to do. If you're going to be a counselor, you have to be slow and listen and patient and get them to tell you what they can do. And I'm going, why would I do that? If they would just do these 10 things, their life would get straightened out. He continued to guide me a different direction. It was nice that he was so brutally honest with me. I went the direction of assessment, training, human resources, and I actually started I had 4 steps. Greatness was my 5th step in my career. My first step was working for actually college professors that provided consulting and HR services to small businesses. It was there that I got this sense of business and what it did. And all of a sudden, it dawned on me that something that I had missed. The single most effective way to help people improve their lives is to build businesses that give them opportunity. And I was hooked. And I was driven. And people would often ask me, why are you so driven? You know, what keeps you going? You know, you're getting kind of old, you're still going pretty hard. I mean, when are you going to stop? And they expect some very philosophical answer. This pretty much explains it. This is me and my twin sister Ron and my brother Ray at confirmation. I was raised Catholic. What motivates me? Fear and guilt. That's what motivates me. I actually think we could use a little more fear and guilt sometimes. I'm sure you do as well. But that's an honest feeling. I think I always felt like I needed to do more. I didn't want people to feel like I wasn't doing my share or that I wasn't doing everything that I committed to do. So this is my family. My husband, Greg, and I actually met when I was 19. We were together for about 2 weeks, and he said, I get it. I will support you. in whatever you choose to do, and he's kept his word for almost 47 years. So that's pretty cool. And I have 3 sons who aren't perfect either. The oldest kind of, the next 2 not so much. This is the year that I joined Great Clips. 10, 9, and 7, 1987. They played hockey. I mean, you go broke if your children play hockey, especially if you have someone who's a goalie. So I had a left wing, a defenseman, and a goalie. So when I joined Great Clips in 1987, and Ray, my brother, who was already in the business, wanted me to join them full time, he also believed I should invest. And I'm thinking, well, with what? Do they take used goalie pads? So, you know, and it was a tough time for us. But I had seen what was going on in Great Clips. I believed in Ray. I had confidence in the franchisees. So I was willing to take the risk. Ray did help me get a loan that I probably shouldn't have qualified for, that was only twice our house payment. And it was scary. But it was also exciting because I felt like I had the opportunity to make that work by being involved in that business in a very meaningful way. So I joined Great Clips in 1987. In 1998, I became president. This is Ray and I on stage as he handed off, congratulated me on becoming president. In 1997, Great Clips had gone through a very difficult time where we leveled the trigger by sell. I'm not sure the right language to use, but there were 5 owners. There were different views of the way the company should go. All of the owners were committed. The founders were so passionate about the business. David Rubenzer and Steve Lemon had built a great concept, but there were differences in opinion about how to grow the business. So it was clear they needed to part ways, and the way to do that is to do a trigger buy sell. So Ray and I got venture capital backing of about $15.5 million, put it on the table, and waited to see if the other side would deliver the same. Either way, one of us was going to be out. We had made a profit of $211,000 in 1997, and we're taking on a $15.5 million debt, and I'm actually excited. No, I was scared to death. But once again, I had belief in the people, the community that I was working with, their commitment. I thought they were counting on us, and we wanted to do the right thing. So we did get control of the business. We grew incredibly well. The focus was on growing in a healthy way to make sure that we could manage that debt and grow the business. 2004 was a milestone year. 2004, we had about 6 great years, and then in 2004, things started to soften. It looked like we were losing our momentum. Franchisees were pretty disgruntled. Both sales and customer counts were going down. This is what they looked like. Kind of a big fall. I can tell you that in a franchise business where you have a lot of small business owners who are counting on that income, these franchisees were unsettled. They were angry. They were afraid. And we had to figure out what to do. We needed to turn it around. We started by looking deeply at the brand. We started by doing whatever we could to make things as simple as we could. We really focused on repetition. We tried to take our energy and focus it very narrowly on the things that mattered most to the customers. We redefined our brand in a way that we could keep it simple on one page. We worked with the right outside resources. We leveraged technology and data. But we also looked at our leadership, and that's where the personal vision comes in. But first, I'm going to show you what some of those things did to our overall trends. So this is a trend since that dip when we really backed up, looked at our brand, looked at the competition, figured out exactly what we needed to do to get that growth back. But it was also a milestone year for me in a personal way related to my leadership and my focus. In late 2004, just as things had started to decline, I was diagnosed with late-stage uterine cancer. I had a pretty difficult cancer battle. It was one of those times where you do question everything about what you're doing, why you're doing it. Ray would come to my house and he would say, Rhoda, are you sure you even want to come back? Do you think you can come back? He was concerned because he didn't know if I was going to ever be healthy enough to come back. Those are pretty hard questions. I knew I wanted to come back. I knew I could turn it around. We had started the process. I really had this idea that I wanted to get to $1 billion. And I actually wanted to be CEO. So I did say, yes, Ray, I do want to come back. It's important for me to come back. But I also had a lot of thinking time about if I came back, what would be different? I had elements of a personal vision before, but it really helped me crystallize, if I'm going to go back, what's going to be different? What are the things that are going to drive me in a way that my leadership and the impact on the organization may change? And so I did develop a personal vision. And my personal vision has 3 elements. I wanted to be a healthy role model for both physical and mental health. I wanted to be an impactful, values-driven leader, and I wanted to build a legacy business. And I'll talk about each of those briefly. So to be a physical, and everybody knows me, every chance I get, I talk about physical activity, I talk about lifting weights, I talk about being strong. I love it when women are strong because they have confidence. They aren't as afraid. They're willing to take risks. You know, one of the things I found out, the more physically fit I got, the stronger I got, the more push-ups I could do, I was more willing to take risk. I was more level. My mental health was stronger. I believe that women need to understand that the connection between mental and physical health is strong. I knew I was at risk because of my mother's health, so I wanted to do everything I could to protect that. I also believe that physical activity builds resilience. So I take every opportunity I can, subtly, directly, indirectly, to share that part of my vision. The second part of my vision is to be an impactful, values-driven, courageous leader. The first part of that, if you want to be an impactful leader, you have to stop being defensive. Women, there must be a genetic part of our makeup. We get so defensive. We take things so personally. We just don't accept feedback very well. We feel attacked when we shouldn't. I still work on that every day, but I can tell you, if you want to be impactful, learning how to manage your defensiveness, putting it aside, listening more closely is one of the things, the most important things that you can do to be more impactful. You also can drive your own personal values. I wondered, now it was really important to me. Kindness was really important to me. Listening was really important to me. I thought, this is Ray's vast majority owner. There are other owners. It's all of our businesses. Do I have a right to impose my values? You bet. Drive your values. Drive what's important. You don't hesitate to say, being kind, working hard, developing trust, counting on one another, building a community are important to you, so they're important to the business. And remember, as you grow your business, your biggest risk is your inability to replicate you. You're successful because you're unique, but you need to commit time to developing people, to providing tools and resources, to helping them do the things you do, or your business won't grow in a healthy way. It will be too reliant on you, and it won't take advantage of the opportunities that I know you're committed to provide. I also think that being courageous means having a vision, throwing it out there, making sure people know what it is. Repetition is valuable. Don't hesitate to have the courage to share a vision, even though it may seem outrageous, and continue to communicate it every chance you get. The last part of my personal vision is to build a legacy business, a business where everybody involved, every stakeholder has an opportunity for personal, professional, and financial success. Everyone, from executives in the home office to stylists in the salons, franchisees, everyone should have that opportunity. We've often talked about building a 100-year business. That belief on building a 100-year business is built on a foundation of everyone counts. We just had a meeting last week. Our overall focus was every single person in our organization counts. Every single interaction, every time I interact with someone, I either add or take away from the strength of the relationship and the brand. Now that may be a little overwhelming, but it's an incredible opportunity. The other thing I think about building a legacy business is how much all of us want to give back to the community. Every one of us is one of probably the driving things in building a business. I've watched so many businesses kind of get off the ground and then get distracted because they extend themselves too much into the community. I'm not saying don't do that. I'm saying make sure you do it at the right time. You can create a lot more community impact once your business is stable. You have great employees. You've built great revenue. Your debt's reduced. You have a lot of things that are going in your favor. Then you reach into the community because early on, the focus on your business is the most important. The other thing that drives me and my personal vision is grateful. Please spell it this way from this point forward. I know some of you, there are probably some English majors in here that are really just pulling their hair out. This is the way you spell grateful. And it's a combination of humility and gratitude. I don't forget for a minute where I came from. I don't forget the hunger and poverty in my childhood. I don't forget driving cars that we were afraid my sons would fall through because they were so rusted. I don't forget for a minute how hard it was for so many years, day to day. I don't want to forget that. I don't want to ever stop having gratitude for the opportunity I've been given, the opportunity to be in front of you, the opportunity to interact with you. I love WomenVenture. I love being connected to you. You're stuck with me forever. So I hope that I will see you year after year, and thank you so much for honoring me by allowing me to share my story with you. Thank you very much.